Also, the latest polls show that Hillary Clinton is not in the best shape right now, but don't tell her husband Bill that. He thinks she's looking real good.
She's got the best economic plan, the best health care plan, the best education plan. It will affect all Americans. I believe this with all my heart. If Texas votes for her, and I've just been in Ohio, it looks like she's going to win Ohio. She's winning there. It looks good.
Well, he's also said that if she doesn't win those states, she's effectively out of this race. Joining us now for analysis, Fox News political analyst and Democratic strategist Bob Beckel, and syndicated radio host and Fox News political analyst Tammy Bruce. Hello.
Hi there.
Hello,
Hi there, everybody.
Okay, so no big surprise. Bill Clinton is 100% behind his wife. Let's get back to her and her kitchen sink approach. Tammy, it was interesting to me today. You know, we saw her over the weekend. She was angry. She was sarcastic. Then she came out on Monday and blasted Obama's foreign policy experience. But today she's speaking to voters in Ohio, and she makes reference to the angry Hillary. I got a little hot over the weekend. She's calling attention to angry Hillary. Do you think that's the mood she's settling on? That's the message she wants people to be reminded of?
Well, the problem is clearly, and this is the Clinton triangulation in a way, the strategy is to try to present elements to every constituency that you think they want to see. The idea of the Clintons being themselves has never been an option for them. And yet, here's Barack Obama, who is not saying very much at all, but at least he's consistent. And his wife is being herself, and there have been some major issues in that regard, on issues of pride in the country and whether or not Barack Obama is dealing with details. But what Americans are responding to is that at least they know what they're going to get from Barack Obama. He is consistent, but he's jello. With Hillary, you're looking at, when you listen to her, you don't know what you're going to hear or what the style's going to be, because I'll tell you, the best time when she was herself, that was the most impressive, was in the sarcasm. When she was delivering.
You like the sarcasm?
Sarcastic. I'll tell you, but the reason why is because the tone was different. It was funny. She can approach and attack Barack Obama with humor, and it can work, but then she immediately slipped back into the robotic delivery. And this is the problem when you've never been yourself, because you've never perhaps felt that people will vote for you if you're honest with them.
What about it, Bob? You know, when Tammy's referring to the sarcasm, it was Hillary out there saying, you know, the sky, the celestial choirs will sing, and she's making fun of Barack Obama's positive message. What's the answer for her?
Well, I actually kind of like that, too. But let me say one thing about Bill Clinton. Having managed a presidential campaign, when we were up against Ronald Reagan, I deluded myself into thinking up until 2 days before we were actually going to win. This happens in presidential campaigns. You get insulated. But here's an interesting fact that happened just this week when one more delegate was awarded in Colorado. Right now, if Hillary Clinton won 100% of the earned delegates between now and June 6th, she cannot get the nomination. Barack Obama can, which means she has to rely on superdelegates. An important poll you put up there, which was who's the most electable, that's the most important poll for superdelegates. That means that they're going to be inclined to go to Barack Obama. The real question is, if she doesn't win Texas, how soon does she get out? And there's I think 2 or 3 options available to her, but one is, does she want to keep a political life alive? Does she want to be a majority leader of the Senate? Run for president?
And we're going to move on. I'm going to ask you about Hillary possibly dropping out in a minute, but let me stick with the superdelegates for 1 second. So you're saying they've got to go after the superdelegates at this point. Who better to do that with than Bill Clinton, who wants this arguably, from the looks of it, just as badly as Hillary Clinton does? Take a listen to what he said to reporters today. Take a listen.
If you get to be president, they play a song every time you walk in the room. They play Hail to the Chief every time you walk in the room. I was lost for 3 weeks after I left the White House. I had no idea where I was because nobody played a song anymore.
That's true.
Well, you got to love his candor on that, Tammy. You know, and the other thing that he may need some candor on is this whole Jennifer Flowers dust-up. The alleged former mistress now back in the news, saying she's going to release tapes, audio tapes of her conversations
Jennifer
with Clinton.
Flowers, as now I have to tell Bob Beckel and everyone, I've changed my registration to decline to state from Democrat officially, but I have to tell you, even Jennifer Flowers is effectively like Ralph Nader. It's so 1992, it's irrelevant, and it's a woman who needs to insert herself into the story of the day. But the interesting thing about the idea of who's more electable and how it will affect the superdelegates, the people being polled are the same people who applaud Barack Obama wiping his nose. To suggest that they're going to have some insight about who's more electable for this country in general is ridiculous. And Hillary Clinton, I'll tell you something, is probably more electable because John McCain is friends with her. And I think he's going to be stronger with Barack Obama than he would be with Hillary. And if the Democrats don't get their act together and make this a combined ticket, it shows you how dysfunctional the Democrat Party is today.
Well, what about it, Bob? Does the Bill Clinton factor affect either Hillary's push to get the superdelegates or his alleged involvement with Jennifer Flowers? Does that find its way into this campaign somehow?
Yeah, let's look at the Jennifer Flowers thing for a second. Look, one of the problems for Bill Clinton now is he's been spending 7 years trying to build his legacy up. The last thing he wants to do is be part of a legacy that sees the Democratic Party ripped apart going into a divided convention. That's one. Two, if Hillary Clinton stays in this race, if she loses Texas, it will be for one thing, to get more delegates to go into the convention and leave open her option to be vice president, which is a possibility. And the third thing is, if she wants to have a political career in front of her, she's not going to be in a position to rip this party apart if she wants to be majority leader or even run for president again. She's not that old. It's a possibility, but you can't do that, nor can you maintain Clinton's legacy if you decide to go and rip the party apart in Denver.
Wow, we're going to have to wait to see. Hopefully we'll have some information this time next week. Bob and Tammy, thanks so much for being here.